2 days, 1 game. 48 hours is the time that me and a small group of friends have to create an idea and design something cool and playable. The rules are simple. We're not allowed to use any pre-made assets except for music and sound effects. Our team is made up of 3 developers and 2 3D artists, and we're taking on these challenges as a part of the Game Jam event that we signed up for. There are 2 prizes up for grabs in this challenge, the best game and the best theme. The latter will be awarded to the game that best captures the theme of the jam, which for this event is... Anyways, the theme is open to interpretation, so we had a lot of room to get creative. With that in mind, we began brainstorming and focused mainly on the word flow, while incorporating some fun theme-related elements like Fika, Latte and Wienerbröd, which basically translates to a Swedish coffee break, Latte and Wienerbröd, which is like a Danish pastry, I guess. Ultimately, we settled on a café simulator, where you take on the role of a barista fulfilling customer orders, where you need to drag the correct pastries to match the orders, and if you mess up too many times, you get fired and lose. We chose this concept for one simple reason. We wanted to nail the best theme award by using all of the elements from the theme. We made the gameplay revolve around coffee break items and pastries. If you complete several orders correctly in a row, you enter a flow state, which multiplies your score, kind of like Guitar Hero with streaks and multipliers. This would fit the theme of the event perfectly, but also add a layer of chaos and stress to mirror the hustle of a busy cafe. With the concept locked in, we dove straight into development. Our 3D artists started working on pastry items and a counter for testing, while the developers split up tasks. One worked on the order system, another on the scoring system, and I began setting up item spawning and player interactions. My first task was to import some basic 3D models into the scene and set up a drag and drop system for moving items. The drag and drop system was pretty easy to write and implement. The only problem I ran into was where the items would snap directly to the mouse position when clicked instead of smoothly following the cursor. To fix this, I had to adjust the code to calculate the item's offset relative to the mouse, making it much smoother. Next, I added physics to make the items behave realistically. Then I set up a conveyor belt system that would speed up over time to increase the challenge. I also created a kill zone that detects if an item is dropped on the floor or thrown in the bin. As day 2 began, we had a prototype with all the basic gameplay elements in place, but there was still a lot to polish. We added more items, created a conveyor belt animation, and synced it with the increasing speed of the gameplay. We also added UI elements like a clock that counts down the time you have left to complete orders. One time-consuming task was synchronizing the speed of the conveyor belt and the velocity of the spawned items, but once we nailed it, the game started to feel a lot more fluid. We added different pastry variations to test the order system and tweaked visual feedback to let players know that they were doing well or messing up. To give the game a sense of urgency, we created 2 fail conditions, not completing at least 10 orders or failing to meet the daily revenue goal. With the core gameplay sorted, we focused on audio and visual polish. We created an end screen and a particle system to add smoke effects when items are destroyed. For the soundtrack, we wanted something that would match the intensity and pace of the game, so we went with a jazz track that builds tension as it progresses. Unfortunately, I had to swap out the original track due to copyright, but I'll link the song in the description because it really ties the atmosphere together. We also added sound effects for nearly every action, including placing items, completing orders, dropping items and more. We even included a scaling flow sound that increases in pitch based on your streak. It all came together just in time, and we managed to submit the game right before deadline. And this is the final result. Alright, let's jump into the game and I'll show you what we came up with. The goal is simple: complete as many orders as possible without making mistakes. If you keep a streak going, you increase your flow state, which boosts your score. And as you can see, specific orders are spawned in, and I drag the right pastry from the conveyor belt and drop it on the tray to complete the order. If I mess up, the order is rejected and I lose progress towards the flow multiplier. The longer you play, the faster the conveyor belt goes, and the more complex the orders become. You really start to feel the pressure, especially when the clock is ticking down and you're trying to keep your streak alive. And do you notice the flow sound increasing in pitch? That's how you know you're on a hot streak. The clock gives you a sense of urgency and the music builds up, adding to the chaos of a busy cafe. If you don't complete enough orders, or if you fail to hit the daily sales goal, it's game over. But if you make sure that you're in the flow state, you gain a lot of points very quickly. And that's the game. It may look simple, but when you're in the middle of it, the pressure can really build up. We had a blast putting it together, and maybe it's not the best game we've ever created, but we're still pretty happy with how far we got in such a short time. I hope you enjoyed watching our team create a game in just 48 hours. It was a fun challenge and we learned a lot along the way. If you have any questions about the development process or want to know how we approach specific parts of the game, drop a comment down below. Make sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to see more game dev content. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.